I may be making a decision here. This decision may not be a good one. I'm not sure. Hello, I'm Lizzie and welcome to this reading vlog. It is the first reading vlog of Realmathon, which starts at midnight tonight. However, I've got a very busy weekend. I wanted to start the vlog now, and I also wanted to maybe read a chapter or two of my book before the month starts. Now, if you watched my TBR, which I filmed like an hour ago, you might be aware that I'm not sure of what to read. I need to push this back in order for you to see it, sort of. Yeah, I'm not sure what to read. Now, I have some options. I don't want to read any of those right now. I was thinking that I'd probably start with Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, which is a hockey ice skate romance. Fun, all the vibes, really my sort of thing. And when I was putting my TBR together, I had the thought that maybe I would read ACOTAR. I've had this idea in my head for such a long time. I would read ACOTAR in a reading vlog, a spoilery reading vlog, and I would just literally just talk about it and find out what I'm missing out on and see if the things that I think are happening, and just have like a bit of a fun, like just relaxed time, no pressure, because I'm just reading something like quite straightforward, quite easy. And I've never found the time for it. I don't know if I've got the time for it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this is the right decision. But I think I might kick off Realmathon with ACOTAR. Is that a good choice? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to think. But I think I'm going to do it. So my plan is, because the audiobooks are available on Scribd, and if you can hear a dog licking their paws, because you can, that I'm dog sitting, so you'll see Rosie Pup in the vlog, I'm sure. She's licking her paws right now. I think I'm going to read ACOTAR. I'm a bit scared, just because I'm worried I'm going to hate it and everyone's going to hate me, or I'm worried I'm going to love it and then everyone's going to hate me. So I'm just going to read it and see what happens. I'm just going to chat absolute shit about what happens. So, okay. If this clip is condensed right down and it's not in the title, you will know that I don't end up sticking to this. Because what I will do is, if I start reading it and think, no, this is not for right now, I will stop and I will read something else and I will find something else. But I think starting off with a binge read of a series could, not definitely, could be a very, very good choice. I'm not saying it will be, but it might be. And why not? Let's go for it. So I have the box set. It starts with Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm going to be talking all sorts of spoilers, so if you haven't read this, I'm really sorry, and you plan on reading it, and you're behind the times like me, then sorry that you can't watch this. Sorry. Or just watch it anyway. I don't really know. It's up to you. It's up to you. I'm telling you that I'm going to spoil things. The spoilers are going to start now because I think I know some things that happened. Okay, so A Court of Thorns and Roses, I believe, is her name Feyre? Feyre? I think her name's Feyre, spelled F-E-Y-R-E. Right, this is what I think happens. I think it's about Feyre, and I think she goes into the forest, probably American, and she stumbles along something, and then she ends up in the Unseelie Court, or the Seelie Court, I don't know, the Fey Court. She ends up in the Fey Court. I think that's what happens. Okay, right, bear with me. And I believe she has to take trials to become a Fey Queen or something. Something like that, I don't know. And the reason I think this happens is because this is kind of some things that happen. She has to take trials to become the Fey Queen in Fortune Sworn. And in reviews I've read of Fortune Sworn, people say that it's very, very similar to ACOTAR. So, except for different ages, because this is YA and that one's adult. So that's what I think happens, and that's why I think that happens. And I know that she starts going out with someone called Tamlin. Apparently he's toxic, very, very toxic. And in the second book, this one, Court of Mist and Fury, ACOMAF as the kids call it, she starts going out with is his name Rhys or Rysand? It's Rysand. It's spelled R-H-Y-S. I'm not sure if it's Rhys or Rysand. I don't know. I'll let you know what the audiobook says when I find out. You probably already know because you're probably more with it than I am. Down with the kids, as they say. God, I'm acting like an old woman. Anyway, and he is what the Twitter girlies are calling a faux feminist. And he is like, oh, come here, such little shit. Rah, 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 rah. You should be with me. And then they get together. And that's all I know. I know that there's Nesta, who's a bit of a bitch. Everyone loves her. And she's in the new book. The one with all the sex in it. And I know she ends up with Rhys. Rhys? I think it's Rhys. I know she ends up with him because she gets pregnant in the new book. The new one. Because I've watched with Cindy's spoiler chat about it. So that all happens, and this is like a mini one. So I think it's just the trilogy, the main trilogy, and then a little extra. That's what I think. I have no idea. I'm going to give it a go. Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I didn't even say it was by Sarah J. Maas, but you know that already, don't you? It's 416 pages long. It's not that long. There's lots of stuffs. I don't think the covers are that bad, you know. I think they're all right. Oh yeah, look, Feyre is a huntress. Oof. Taken prisoner by the High Fae Lord. Oh, she's a prisoner, which is what I love. There is a lot of comparisons between From Blood and Ash and ACOTAR, and in the sense that it's the same sort of story where, and I'm the kind of person, I will suspend my disbelief. I will suspend a toxic man to enjoy the story. So you know, we'll see how I get on. I'm probably not going to start yet. I'll start later and I'll let you know. But yeah, that's the start. That's the start of this vlog. It's gonna be, hopefully it's gonna be a really good one, and I do really want to read it. And now I've committed to reading ACOTAR, I think I'm gonna have a good time reading it. Whether the story's a good time or not, I don't know. I think it'll be very nice, blown over. So it's Sunday. I started reading this yesterday afternoon, not for very long, and I'm only actually up to chapter 4, page 32. Already I've noticed some things that I was wrong about, which is always good. Like some things I didn't know. Obviously I looked at the map, and this is obviously supposed to be basically England, and it's not like a different, the Fae live in a different realm. They live in like the north, and then this tiny part of the south. So it looks like here, is that like just above London is where, so it's just the south is where the humans live, and the Fae seem to be like tyrants over the humans, basically not, I don't know, raping and pillaging, I'm not really sure. And we've got Feyre, who is her family were wealthy, and when this Fae situation started to worsen, it's not gone into much yet on that. Her family were no longer wealthy. They lost all of their wealth, all of their money, and now her father and her 2 sisters depend on her to survive. Goes hunting, blah blah blah. And I think basically what has happened is she's hunted a deer and a wolf, and the wolf is something to do with the Fae, because what have just happened is like the growling shape burst through the door. So that's all I know. I assume it's probably Tamlin come to take her away, because I know that she's kidnapped and taken into sort of the Fae lands. So we'll see what happens there with that. Obviously not much to report yet. Obviously, her sisters are like bitches, very annoying. But you know, there's a lot of trauma that seems to be going on here. But I've heard that Nesta persists to be very annoying, so I'm sure that's great. There's a lot of displayed resentment between all siblings. Yeah, so there's, I mean, a lot's gone on in the first bit. You know, it's not super. I'm not bored. I'm not gripped. I mean, there's nothing. I've not really experienced anything, but I thought I'd just do an update as it has been a couple of days. But I will be reading some more. I think I don't know if I'll read any more before bed now. I'm really tired. We'll see. But when I'm getting ready tomorrow morning, I might try and listen to some of the audiobook to get used to the audiobook a bit, because depends how I feel, I might listen to the audiobook on my drive to work tomorrow morning, but I'm not sure how that will go. That's my plan. That's what I'm doing. I had a really cute outfit on today. I should have filmed a bit more, but I did look really cute. So yeah, I'm going to read this, and I'm hoping that it won't take me long to get through this once I actually dedicate some time to reading. I've just had a very busy weekend, but that's such is life, you know. Well, I'll tell you what, quite a lot's happened since I last spoke to you. Even though it's only been 24 hours, I am now on page around the 270 mark, which is a big difference. I've read I've listened to about 230 pages in audiobook just today, praising the easy tasks that let me work and read at the same time. I'm actually really enjoying it. There are a few things that sort of throw me off, and I don't enjoy so much. So there's a lot of because there's a lot of little actiony bits happening when she's like holding a breath, or all the breath leaves her because he's there, and blah blah blah. And I think because I'm not completely obsessed with it, I can't ignore it. But you never know, that may come later. You don't know. I'm enjoying the story. It's a little bit different to what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting any of the sort of like face masks, like the masquerade masks stuck to their face. I wasn't expecting like the glamour stuff. I haven't read much with Faye in, so, and I feel like it's like very interesting to me in that sense. I like the setup. Tamlin is okay. I feel like I'm not getting invested in him because I know that he's not going to be the main love interest. I obviously couldn't update while I was working today, but I did make a note to say that I did suspect that the man that she met at the right would be Reese. And then he came back again, and obviously he seems like an arsehole. But I'm operating on the information that I know that she ends up with Reese. So I imagine that Tamlin and Lucien are not what they seem, or situation's not what they seem, or Reese isn't what he seems. But obviously there's quite a lot of different pieces of information that I have that I shouldn't have. So the book isn't taking me quite on the journey that I think it would had I knew that information. I didn't know that information. But I think it'll be easier for me to adjust when we settle in with Reese. So I'm just sort of in limbo, waiting for that to happen, assuming book 2. Or maybe the end of this book, I don't know. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that part of it. I love Lucien. I love, when they've been, joking with each other, I'm like, you could flirt with him instead. I'd like that. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Let me have a look at what else I made a note of. My main notes in my notes were that it's a good overall reading experience so far, and I'm definitely enjoying the story, but also I wasn't expecting it to be quite so sexual. I thought it was YA as I remember from when I was reading lots of YA. So for example, I'm thinking Hunger Games, no mention of sexual content, and I wouldn't say it's smutty or spicy at this point. I know in later books there is smut or spice. I don't know what you would call it. I don't know what it is, so I can't tell you. It's not explicit, but it's mentioned, and there is a bit of a description. So I didn't expect that. So, what colour me intrigued? I didn't expect that. I didn't expect the curse and the marry human girl and the it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I already knew that. That is what's the worst thing. I already knew that it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I already knew that and I forgot. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm such an idiot. I wasn't expecting it. And I should have predicted it. But I'm an idiot. I'm just stretching because I'm about to go for a run, so I thought I'd do it at the same time. And my washing machine is just making it absolutely... I can't believe I forgot. I misremembered that it was the Beauty and the Beast retelling. Yeah, I completely forgot. Oh, yes, that makes sense. But I'm definitely intrigued by it. I think this was probably what makes it easier for her to move on to Reese. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm just whatever. But I am going to listen to some of the audiobook whilst on my run, I think, because I can't bother to listen to music, so I'm going to listen to the book instead. So I can't talk too much because my boyfriend and all his friends are playing Mario Kart in the living room and having a little bit of a party. I have less than 100 pages to go and there is literally only not too much. The relationship or the encounters that Feyre is having with Rhysand is increasing. She's pledged to like spend 2 weeks with 1 week of every month with him or something, and she's got a tattoo or like ink on her skin. I don't know. I haven't read in like a day and a half. I just haven't had a chance, but I'm gonna try and like just really just push through to the end. I'm watching Cass with Lexi. I am gonna go sit in my chair, which is now over there in the corner, and read. But yeah, probably won't talk too much because there is always the danger that we're going to hear some shouting or cheering in the background. There you go. Also, I forgot to say that Reese is a total shitbag. So, that's how I feel about that. I'm sure, given time, I'll come to love him. But at this current moment in time, I'm not feeling particularly friendly towards him. I wonder if Rhysand's going to be like, oh, I only ever belittled you. I only ever was mean to you because I was trying to make you strong to deal with Amarantha. I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to get fucking whiplash. She was kissing Tamlin, and then Rhys kissed her, and then Tamlin walked in, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? I was just, slow down. But it's not going slow, it's moving very fast. I'm a little bit delirious, I think that's why I'm chatting shit. Holy shit, is she gonna kill Tamlin? Is Tamlin going to die? The drama, I am loving it. I'm having the best time. Finished! I'm just gonna gather my thoughts and then I'll be back with you when I have some thoughts. So I haven't been able to vlog today and I haven't read anything either, but I thought I would come on and talk a little bit about how I'm feeling about ACOTAR and that fact that I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good fun. I thought I really liked the plot and the characters, the bit I expected, the bits I sort of had an idea about, and even the bits that I'd sort of forgotten or pushed to the back of my head. I even really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the suspense and the tension, and yeah, I just really enjoyed like going on the journey. It's definitely been better than I expected. I really thought it was going to be terrible, but it's been much better than I expected. I think I'd probably give it a 4 stars, I think, because I just had a really good time. I did really enjoy it. There were moments and things like little elements of writing and quirks in that often about breathing and writing and stuff, which at that point I couldn't look past, and they did really stand out to me. But I wonder if ACMAF will be a little bit different because I'm now really into the story. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm going to start that now. I'm going to just like get cozy. I'm on my new sofa, which is just the best thing ever. I'm so excited because we've just had like the most uncomfy sofa for such a long time that I'm really excited. So I was going to have a bath tonight, but I thought actually what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make a really cozy atmosphere in my living room and just cozy up on the sofa and read. I'm currently watching Kaylee's sprints because I was actually watching Cassidy's sprints last night, and she was saying that she thinks that, she said ACOTAR is the best one. So I'm really excited. And Kaylee's sprinting today, so I'm going to watch those. Or today for her, tonight for me. So I'm going to watch those and maybe like crochet whilst she is talking. And then whilst on the big screen, I'm going to put some sort of atmosphere. I don't know. I'm just going to try and make a really cozy room and be really cozy and get wine and have some PJs. I don't know. Is Tamlin supposed to be like a completely different person, or is it trauma, or I just hope that this is developed in the way that I hope it is. I forgot about the mating bond. Look at this potato quality, but I forgot about the mating bond. How very YA of you. How very YA. So basically, if you're needing a refresher, I sort of stopped as we were being reintroduced to Tamlin and Feyre's like relationship, and like Feyre had like a bad gut feeling and she wasn't happy, and her wedding was coming up, and as she was walking down the aisle, she was thinking in her head, like, I don't know how I can do this. I don't know if I could do this for the rest of my life. Like the high lady thing. And then Reese showed up. Oh god, you're gonna be dying. If you've already read this, you're gonna be dying. But this is like the best thing that's ever happened. Like, it's like, oh, it gave me the same feeling, or not the same, but it gave me a similar feeling to in From Blood and Ash. So last line from Blood and Ash, spoilers. When Cass says to Poppy, we go home to marry my princess. I got those kind of feelings, except I was just so excited. I was, oh my god, I'm over the moon. I'm literally beyond happy. Yeah, so I've been reading and really enjoying and loving, and oh my fucking god, I was in the bath and I couldn't vlog because my phone was on charge, and Tamlin fully snapped out at Feyre, and like, you know, she had to use her shield to protect against his magic. Could have fucking killed her. Oh my god, the drama. When I tell you, I have been thinking about ACOTAR all day and I haven't had a chance to read. I've just had a bit of like day, but I've been thinking I really just want to sink into ACOTAR, which is like the best feeling ever. So yeah, I'm about to start. I'm on page 157, and basically where I'm at currently, is it Rice Hand or Reese Hand? I don't know. I'll find out. But he's basically taken her to Valaris, and they are going to meet. I think is it Azriel or Ziriel and Cassian, which is obviously Nesta's future boyfriend, I believe, from the A Court and Silver Flames or whatever it is. Hello, so it is Tuesday now, Tuesday 11th of April, I don't know. We're 11 days. Yeah, we're 11 days into the readathon, and I am slacking. So I've decided I'm really going to get into this. Do you know what's kind of stopped me from reading so much? It's because I'm loving this book and I don't want it to end, but it's okay. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, I might finish ACOMAF and then I'll still have ACOWAR, and I do have ACOFAS. Is that what you're going to call it? ACOTAR Frost and Starlight? I don't know. And obviously that one's really short. I'll finish those and then I'll work on the rest of my TBR, and slowly throughout the month, and then on holiday, because I go on holiday at the end of this month, maybe I will take Court Silver Flames, which is the Nesta and Cassian book, with me, because it's a really chunky book and it might be fun to read whilst on holiday. I'm not sure. Plans may change, may read that, but I keep thinking to myself, it's okay if I finish early. Like, it's okay if I finish early, because it's not early, I'm just behind. I thought I would have read all these like within the first sort of 5 days. Like, I thought they would be really consumable, and they are really consumable, but I'm loving ACOMAF so much. I can't even comprehend how much I'm loving this, and I know it's going to be 5 stars. I'm really into the world, I'm really into the characters, I'm really into it, and I didn't think I would be. I thought it would be much worse than it is. Like, I thought the book was going to be bad, and I don't even think the writing's that bad. Like, it's not amazing, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's boring. I don't think the plot is boring. I think the romance is really good. The building, the tension, the jealousy, I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. I just wasn't sure if it was for me, and it is 100% for me. I don't know why I didn't think. Cassidy has said, I've mentioned a few times, Cassidy has said that she loves ACOMAF, and I'm loving ACOMAF, and I just love it so much. And they're in the summer court at the moment, and like Feyre's flirting with Tarquin a bit to try and get it's called the summer book, the special book, what they need for the plot. What plot? But they're getting that, and Tamlin is like looming over them. That's not been resolved, so that's still sort of looming, and it is very good and very enjoyable. But Rhys is very, very much arguing with Feyre a lot. They're very jealous of each other. I just want to scream. I love it so much. Yes. So I'm having a really great time. Oh my god. Oh my god. So basically, it's been a few days. I haven't read anything. I just have not had time to read. You know how it is if you've been watching any of my vlogs recently. I've been struggling to find time to read. And it wasn't very well yesterday, but I'm okay now. So I woke up early, went for a nice walk, been listening to the audiobook. Is all I have to say. There was a one bed, there was truth telling, there was an attack, and there was fated mates, and now she's up in this house, and it's like, I'm loving it. I'm having the best time. No thoughts, but just joy, pure joy. I don't have space in my life to be feeling like this about another fictional man. I really need to read more fantasy romance, like these ones that, like, because I love From Blood and Ash, and I now love this. I hope the 3rd book is as good as I hope. I'm not finished yet. I'm obviously on page 497. So I'm going to carry on listening. I was working from home today, and it is 8:25. So I have plenty of time. I'm just playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. Look how cute I am. And getting ready, getting ready to work from 9, but I'm going to play and listen. And just finished ACOMAF. And I have no words. I will formulate some thoughts and I will return to you probably in like 15 minutes, but I loved it. Easiest 5 stars I've given in ages. So it's time. Let's talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about ACOTAR. Not too much to say. I didn't have any like overwhelmingly negative thoughts or anything like that. Nothing particularly to comment on, other than the fact that it was just a really great and really fun read. Definitely, I really loved the story arc and where it's going and the characters and the development, and I really liked it. And it's a shame that I've been putting it off for so long because I had such a great time with it. Now, let's quickly get ACOTAR. So it's a chunky 700 pages. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. But obviously, if you're just watching for spoilers because you don't care for spoilers, what we're currently at is Feyre has given herself up to Tamlin. She pretended that she was under Reese's spell, but they got like secretly married, and she's his high lady, and so she is a spy, and they're, I think, going to be communicating through the marriage, not the marriage imprint, that's from Blood and Ash, the mating bond. Sorry. So I'm really excited for this one. I think there's going to be a lot of pain and angst and just pure joy, hopefully, at the end. So it's a good 600 pages. Now, 699 pages, so it's 700 pages. Now, it's 4 o'clock and peace talks start tonight. I ideally would like to read this by tonight, or 12 o'clock tonight, but I'm not going to. It's not going to happen. But I'd ideally like to read this so it's finished very early tomorrow, so I can read A Court of Frost and Starlight pretty much straight away, or I might take a little break and read a couple of things for peace talks. I don't know. I'll see how far I can get into this before. Obviously, this won't count for peace talks because I intend on reading a good chunk of it tonight. Unless I only end up reading like a chapter, then I'll just count it towards peace talks. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm really excited. I'm going to read this first couple of chapters now before listening to the audiobook. So just a quick vlog update because I don't have time to talk to you guys. Sorry, I know the vlog is thrilling. You're enthralled. You're obsessed. Probably. But I can't stop because I need to carry on. Her and Lucian are going back to the night court. I think, I hope, I don't know. Oh my god. Okay, so somehow, somewhere along the line, I managed to finish not only A Court of Wings and Ruin, but also A Court of Frost and Starlight without vlogging a single other moment. So I finished A Court of Frost and Starlight this morning whilst on my walk. You've just seen some cute pictures at the beach because it's Thursday. The last time I think I updated, the last update was on Sunday, and I was probably about 100 and something pages into A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I was very excited at the time, very enjoying it, I just wanted to read. I didn't want to vlog, which not the worst thing to have happened. And I was reading it and I was making progress, and then towards like the last sort of part of the book, maybe even the last third, the last 40% or so, I felt was just so messed up. Not messed up in the sense that bad things were happening, in the sense that one thing was happening, then another thing was happening, and they were here, and then they had this solution, and then they had to do this, and then there was a surreal, and there was so much going on, but none of the stuff that I wanted to happen was happening. So in terms of plot and war and things like that, that was all happening, and I didn't hate it. I understood the point and the plot and everything, but where I really wanted to be was in these relationships that I'd seen develop, and I wanted to confront some of these issues that we've been having, and the characters and how they're interlinking and how they're now all family together. They're all together by this point, and I wanted to see how that was going to develop, and I thought it would, because this was what I thought was actually a conclusion. I was expecting to see a full conclusion, a fluffy novella, and then read like a whole new story arc in A Court of Silver Flames. Now, there obviously will be a new story arc in A Court of Silver Flames, but I didn't realise that it was like intended, like there was so much left unanswered here. and I found that a little bit disappointing. But not in a I didn't enjoy it kind of way. I still would give it 4 stars. I definitely had a really great time, but I was just expecting something very different and some very different moments to happen here, and I just felt a little bit disappointed by that. I don't know if it's because I binge read it and I wanted all the gratification of just reading every little detail and having every answer for different things so far, but it just didn't sort of wrap up in the way I wanted it to. Not in the sense, I'm going to talk about specifics, but overall, like, I did really enjoy it and I still had a really great time, but it just was nowhere near to the enjoyment level I had for ACOMAF, which to be fair was kind of expected because I had heard it was the best one, and it definitely was. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot that happened that was really great, some really excellent moments, but I felt like there was just so much war. I kind of felt like it could have been 2 separate books in terms of plot. Like, the beginning was solid. The beginning was so good. Her being with Tamlin, I loved the way that played out. I loved the way she got herself out of the situation. It lasted long enough, but not too long. Obviously, she found ways around, like being intimate with Tamlin, and escaping with Lucian was so good. Like, it was so tense. And then she arrived, and then shit just basically started happening, and then they had to go and do things. They never got to unpack the relationship with Lucian now being there, and like, I know it's slowly peppered through, but I felt like there would have needed to be a confrontation straight away, like, okay, Lucian, what do you want from being here? Can we trust you? And I don't feel like that was dealt with enough. For me, I'm quite sometimes things are a little bit too subtle for me, and not to say that I like things to be really obvious, but sometimes if there's a conversation that needs to be had, it needs to be had, in my opinion. And I'm the kind of person that I just want it all out on the table. I don't want to, like, hold on to too many things, and I understand that makes for good plot, but there's too many things that we're holding out on, and it was just really annoying. And there are other moments that were, like, really like that kind of, and I think there's just so much happening and lots of war, and it seemed like the jump from Feyre's like abilities and plotting and stuff jumped really drastically in this one. She felt like a very different character, and not in a bad way, and I understand that happens, but I did feel a little bit rushed. I wonder if I'd have had time between the books, I might have appreciated what I had a little bit more. But I am at heart, I am a binge reader. That is the kind of reader that I am, and I just can't do anything about that. And that's why this vlog suited really well. So I just think that was one thing that didn't quite hit for me, or part of the reasons it didn't hit for me as much as I was hoping. But there were things that I really liked having the reveals for. So, like, the conversation between Mor and Feyre. So I'm talking between the argument that Morrigan and Feyre has, because Feyre wants to go to see the Suriel to try and find out where the cauldron is, and I loved the Suriel. I loved that moment. It was really beautiful, really poignant, really sad. I did feel the emotion. And she duped Morrigan into going, when Morrigan's sort of saying to her, you know, I would have just let you go. Like, I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. You're not trapped here. Like, you are our high lady. We love you, blah, blah, blah. I liked that they had that argument. That was very good. That was very late on the table. And then they sort of separated, and there was war going on. And then when they came back together, like, later that evening or the next day or whatever, because Feyre had said some harsh words to Morrigan about the way she treats Azriel and how everyone knows that they're in love and things like that, and it's just a very, like, suspect relationship. She actually tells Morrigan actually tells Feyre that the reason she slept with Cassian to soil herself, obviously I don't think that she's sullied after losing her virginity, but the reason she does that is so that she can break off the engagement, not because she just doesn't want to marry Eris, which is completely valid on its own, but also because she doesn't see herself getting married to a man. She doesn't define her sexuality in any way, but she knows that she's not straight, and she doesn't say bisexual, and she doesn't say lesbian either. She talks about how she enjoys sex with men, but she doesn't she basically only has feelings of love and affection for women. Romantic love and affection. She only has romantic feelings for women, and she doesn't think she can have those for men. And it's such an interesting thing that she's keeping this a secret, and she feels like she can't keep this a secret from her sworn friends. And I like that she brought Feyre into her confidences on that, but I really want to see the resolution where she talks about that with Azriel. To be honest with you, I hadn't thought too much into the Azriel and Morrigan situation. I just thought it was underlying tension, so it's good to see that has been started to be explored, but there is more to come later. I kind of found the skirting around the fact that Cassian and Nesta are obviously mates or to be mated. I assume it's because the mating bond hasn't snapped into place, but it will do in A Court of Silver Flames, I'm assuming. I'm not sure if it's already there or not, but the fact that they're not talking about how obvious it is, they're kind of like, oh, let's not talk about it, let's not talk about it. That was a little bit annoying, actually. And it was one of those things that kind of grated on me, because I liked that when you first meet Rhys and his friends, they are very open with each other, and they're so direct, and they call each other out on their bullshit, and I loved that so much. And to feel like this was a step too far, I don't know how I felt about it, but you know, it's fine. It's just going to help with the next book, or Silver Flames, like help building there. There are two things that happened that I felt were something that I hate that happens, and also just so predictable. I cannot stand a fake death. I cannot stand thinking someone's going to die and then they come back to life. I always think that they're going to come back to life. It just never happens, and it has fooled me. There is one particular popular, actually YA series where someone dies in a later book, and I didn't think that they were dead, and then they were really dead, and it was heartbreaking, and it was such a delayed moment for me. But that's besides the point. Because of things like Game of Thrones, when Jon Snow died, I was devastated, and then he came back to life, and now I feel like it's everywhere. I'm not saying that this was like Game of Thrones and then everything else, but I feel like that's a really popular example of somewhere where they just came back to life and it was fucking pointless. So it's like Rhys died, and it's really sad, and it was like, I knew he wasn't dead because I knew that he was in Silver Flames. I knew that that wasn't the end for Rhys and Feyre, but when he died I didn't feel anything, because it was just shock value. And then the moment with Tamlin having to put his fucking little drop of thing to bring him back to life, it was just pointless, and I got really annoyed. And another thing that really really annoyed me is that Amren, who is a character I absolutely adore, I think she's such an interesting character, is that when she sort of released herself into her previous form to save them and to like tip the war in their favour, she was doing it at great sacrifice to herself. And she's such a good and interesting character, and she would have been so sorely missed. And the fact that they were mourning her, and then, oh, she was just fine. It was just so annoying. And it's like, just don't put that like pressure on it. Just put that she does it, and then she's like there again, like it's not a problem. The stakes aren't real because nobody died. And if Amren had died, I probably would have cried. And that would have been so much more satisfactory than oh, she's going to die, but she's not dead. Do you know what I mean? Or she wasn't dying, but she wouldn't be able to return to them as Amren is. And I just feel a bit bereft of, could have done with a death, like a good, and her dad's dead. Oh, they give a shit about her dad. What pointless bringing him back for no reason. It's just stupid. I was getting a little bit of whiplash from, are they on our side? Are they not on our side? Tamlin, Jurian, everyone. Are they on our side? That was just like a little bit back and forwards from me. Kind of would have preferred it if Tamlin was just really evil in the end, instead of a sad loser. So yeah, that would have been good, but I'm ranting a lot, and it's not because I didn't like it, it's because I really liked it and I wanted more. I wanted something more just exactly to my taste, which isn't always going to be possible. And I'm glad to know that it's not something that I can see the fault in it, because sometimes when I'm so blinded by things because I've just fallen so in love with them, then I'm not blind to their faults. I'm looking at you from Blood and Ash. it can be annoying because I know deep down that I know that there are things there that I probably wouldn't like if I wasn't blinded. I do like that I can see a lot of the things in here that I didn't like quite so much. So let's have a well-rounded review for once, not complete rave. So I'm going to stop there because I have been talking for 15 minutes about ACOTAR, and let's just have a quick chat about Court of Frost and Starlight, because I've not got a huge amount to say. I liked it. It was good. It was sweet. There were some moments. There were some setup moments. I don't think there's anything in here that I would have missed. There were nice moments. I like the Christmas solstice situation. I like the presents. I like this, oh, everyone's an ideal society. We give so much to charity. Displaced, talking about the after effects of the war, but not too much because it's supposed to be a happy story. That was all fine. And I liked the moments between Feyre and Rhys, and the only bit I didn't like, and there was one moment that was really fucking weird. So right at the end of the solstice, Feyre tells Rhys that yes, she wants to have a baby with him. Great. I knew she gets pregnant in the next one anyway. So they're having sex, and right towards the end, right before the climax, she drew through their little mind bond. She puts the image of their child that she saw from the bone carver into his head. So to make him climax, she puts an image of their future child into his head, which I think is kind of weird. Sorry, please don't shoot me. I think that's a bit fucking weird, but you know, I don't know if that was very well thought about or thought about a bit too much. Gave me the ick. I was literally walking along the seafront this morning listening to it and I went, what? And an old lady looked at me walking her dog. It was fine. I didn't like, it was just good story, liked it. Might have liked it a little bit more had I been like hungry for Rhys and Feyre and I hadn't read ACOTAR so shortly before it. Didn't add anything, didn't take away anything, except maybe a little bit of respect for Rhys and Feyre. And maybe my questioning of their parental rights. But aside from that, a few more things about ACOTAR that I have to mention. Give me 1 second. There were so many extra like creatures and things that were mentioned in ACOTAR that I just felt like we could have spent more time with in favour of other things. So for example, I mean the surreal was dealt with beautifully. That was really sad. And I really thought like the bone carver, that was all really rushed. The weaver was really rushed. The thing that was under the library, that was quite rushed. So I'm just going to do a quick wrap up because this is getting quite long, but mainly to say that I was very, very surprised by the ACOTAR series so far. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed ACOTAR. It started off a little bit slow for me, but once I got there, I was very invested. I loved the ending of ACOTAR and the start, and I loved the entirety of Akamath. I had the best time. One of my favourite books I've read in ages, and then the start of ACOTAR was really good, and then it didn't end badly, but it just didn't end perfect for me. I still thought it was good. Really liked the series overall. Really enjoyed it. Really glad I read it. For Realmathon, even though I'm a bit behind on my points, I need to sort my points out, but I managed to make it work for the Magical Readathon. But I'm gonna not say anything about that because there is a TBR coming tomorrow, which I will sort of do like my end of the month grind for Realmathon. I'm gonna make this count. But I am going to do a separate reading vlog for A Court of Frost and Starlight, mainly because I don't have it. I probably won't read it for Realmathon. I might read it when I'm on holiday or when I get back. But I'm going to read it separately. A couple of predictions of things that happen. I think that Elaine is going to break, or the mating bond with Lucian isn't going to last. And Elaine is going to end up with Azriel. And I actually kind of like that idea. That's in my head. I'm like, yes, that is what's going to happen. But overall, I had a really, really fun reading experience reading this, and I'm really glad I finally read it. Even the highs and the lows, the little roller coaster that we had going on. And yeah, so I'm sure that a lot of you have read this. If you made it this far, thank you so, so much. Let me know what you think, and if you enjoyed some of the craziness of this reading vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.